Good evening again. Please continue eating and enjoying your time there. We'll keep serving the food and we'll serve dessert, but for the program, I think we'll go ahead and get started at this time with the program. So as I said, this is a very special night for us. And for a residency program like this and a community-based residency program, we are enmeshed in the Waco community, and we could not do this without a huge group of supporters and people who work alongside us. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the McLennan County Medical Society 50 years ago, who came together and said, you know what? We need to start training primary care doctors. And so that's why we're here. We do that with the partnership of both hospitals as well. And I'd like to introduce some of the special guests who are here tonight. As I introduce these, we'll hold applause till I tell you when to applaud, because I got a lot to go through here as we go. So first, for those who are here that are Waco Family Medicine Institute board members, please stand up so we can recognize you. Just stand and we'll applaud after we do another group here. But any Institute board members? Great. Back in the back there. Any of the Waco Family Medicine Foundation board members, please stand up. And some of you will keep standing for that. Great. And we often have representatives from both hospitals here. They're not here tonight, but if you guys could give them an applause, please. All of these people work and volunteer in the background, their time to help support what we do. I'd like to introduce the faculty of Waco Family Medicine Residency Program, and we'll hold applause till I get to the very end here. Dr. Floyd Berry and his wife, Shelley, and y'all please stand up if you're here as I go through. Dr. Marcela Castillo and her partner, Anthony Manelas. Dr. Karina Che, Associate Program Director. Dr. Bill Chop and his wife, Jeannie. Dr. Daley Dietrich and his wife, Marty. Dr. Burritt Hess and his wife, Mindy. Dr. Hess is also an Associate Program Director. Dr. Suzanne Jacob. Dr. Michael Yarmark and his wife, Holly. Dr. Lance Kelly and his wife, Ashley. Dr. Don Kester, his wife, Dr. Susan Johnson. Dr. Ryan Lasherber and his wife, Ashley. Dr. Liz Lawley and her husband, Russell. Dr. Kim Mikas and her husband, Pete. Dr. Ileana Newman and her husband, Giovanni Doron. Dr. Brock Neisler and his wife, Morgan. Dr. Courtney Parker Hudson and her husband, Greg Hudson. Dr. Jose Pena and his wife, Andrea. Dr. Rachel Rube and her husband, Trevin. Dr. Zach Sarter. Dr. Sally Weaver and her husband, Joel. And Dr. Katie Wesley and her husband, Dr. Josh Wesley. And I'm going to move on from family medicine faculty now. You guys, you can stay standing if you want to. All right, let's give an applause. We have 3 fellowships as well, and the faculty representing those fellowships are Applied Clinical Informatics Fellowship, Dr. John Gill, who's Program Director, and his wife, Hillary. Dr. Matt Rafalski, Associate Program Director, and his wife, Kim. Our Sports Medicine Fellowship Program, Dr. Brock Neisler, Program Director, his wife, Morgan. Dr. Ro Adeshna, Associate Program Director, and his wife, Dr. Alex Jones Adeshna. And Dr. Chad Connor. And last but not least, the Hospice and Palliative Medicine Fellowship, Dr. Paul Smith, Program Director, and his wife, Dr. Paula Smith, Dr. Josh Wesley and his wife, Dr. Katie Wesley, Dr. Katie Altaheef and her husband, Ricky, Dr. Zach Sarter, Anna Marie Hauser and her husband, Scott, Abigail O'Reilly and her husband, Brendan, and Devin Stahl. And one final special guest I'd like to recognize is Dr. Roland Gertz. Dr. Roland Gertz is here tonight. He's our past president and CEO of Family Medicine. This program is a huge legacy of his work in the past, and it would not be what it is now if it were not for him. I'd also like to thank our elected officials who are with us tonight. Commissioner Pat Chisholm Miller and her husband, Robert. If you guys could stand, please. All right, and Mayor Pro Tem Kelly Palmer and her husband, Matthew. I'd like to invite Mayor Pro Tem Kelly Palmer to the podium for a presentation.
Hello, everybody. It is such an honor to be here this evening on behalf of the city of Waco to celebrate these incredible graduates from the Waco Family Medicine Institute. I want to sincerely thank every resident for your investment in Waco, especially in the midst of all of the challenges that COVID-19 has posed to our healthcare community. Thank you for providing our residents with sincere care, with the highest quality services, with cultural competency and a high degree of ethics. We are so grateful for your investment in Waco and in our vulnerable residents, and we just want to offer this proclamation in support of that. So I, Kelly Palmer, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Waco, Texas, do hereby proclaim June 24th, 2022 as Waco Family Medicine Institute Graduation Day in the city of Waco, and urge the people of Waco to join with City Council, city staff, the McLennan County Medical Society, Waco Family Medicine Institute, and me in extending best wishes to each graduate. We applaud the residents and their fellow physicians for their hard work and dedication, and for providing safe, dependable, and conscientious care to the citizens of Waco and the Central Texas area. Congratulations, and we wish you continued success. In testimony whereof, witness my hand and the seal of the city of Waco this 24th day of June, AD 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Palmer. I would like to invite Dr. Scott Blattman to the podium, please. He's the current president of McLennan County Medical Society, just to say a few words.
Thank you. Greetings and congratulations from your McLennan County Medical Society on your graduation from Waco Family Medicine residency and the fellowships in hospice and palliative medicine and integrative medicine. My name is Scott Blattman, and I am the current president of the McLennan County Medical Society. Please let me add my name to the list of names that praise all of your accomplishments here today. I say your McLennan County Medical Society because, well, all of you are now or have been members of the society at least at some point during your time here. And that has not been without some degree of significance. Your membership has been important at the very least as it contributes to the total eligible number of representative delegates from this county to the Texas Medical Association. For any part of every 100 members of each county medical society, a delegate is authorized to attend the TMA House of Delegates meeting each year to represent that county to the TMA, to help shape the business in the TMA, and to make policy recommendations from the TMA to state congressional houses, to the AMA, and by extension, eventually even to federal policy. And while that may sound like a very small voice in a very large room, it just so happens that the Texas Medical Association is the largest, most active, and most influential of all state medical associations and societies in the country, even though we are neither the state with the most people, nor the state with the most doctors by far. Other states look to the TMA as an example of what their own state medical associations could be and could do if they could do it like we do. For example, the most populous state and also the state with the most doctors, California, with over 115,000 physicians, counts only 40% of those physicians as members in their state medical society. And New York, not as populous as Texas, but with far more doctors, over 93,000 of them, have only 30% in the ranks of their state medical society. Whereas Texas, with a paltry 66,000 physicians, has over 56,000 of those as members in the TMA, for an almost 85% participation rate, with no other state even coming close. Why such a disparity? Well, the reasons are many, but suffice it to say that Texas physicians are now and have been actively involved in shaping the business of medicine and the care of patients in Texas. And clearly, when the TMA comes calling, it comes with a powerful voice. To do this, the TMA has 3 annual meetings: a fall conference coming up this time in September at the Hyatt Regency Lost Pines, a winter conference in January at the Hyatt in Austin, and then the big meeting, TexMed, with the House of Delegates meeting in the spring, this time in Fort Worth. It is a wonderful place, TexMed, to network with physicians across the state, to keep in touch with colleagues from medical school, from residency, previous practice experience, or even some previous TMA meetings. The Young Physicians section is a vibrant and energetic group of young TMA activists that bring new ideas and new ways of thinking to some of the old guard. And the TMA is an excellent source of physicians to get answers to questions about billing, coding, legal issues, the business of medicine, physician advocacy, and even patient rights. Everything from just getting a question answered to a turnkey practice administrative setup is available through the TMA. I was sitting here, more or less, where you are now 28 years ago, with some of the same people in this room, ready to join or build a practice, and ready to get busy doing the work that I trained so long and so hard to do. Being active in my local medical society or in the TMA was not really on my to-do list. But now, over the last few years, it seems that healthcare has been more at the center stage in the minds, in the concerns, in the conversations, and in the political platforms of anyone and everyone who has a microphone or even a vote. And in the absence of the wisdom and guidance of physician leaders to help lead that discourse and inform that policy making, there will be others who will gladly step up to make that policy for us. Let us make sure that those of us who wear the white coats do not put those with the black robes in the position of having to do that. I encourage those of you who have gotten involved to stay involved, and those of you who have not yet done so to get involved, or at least just to be informed. Your county and state medical societies are powerful tools to be used for the purposes of good, but they need to know what you and your patients need. And your patients need to know that you have an informed opinion about the issues that concern their care and that you have a voice in the process. Don't let your patients think that it's all up to the folks at the Capitol to figure all this out. They come to you because they want someone to be in charge of their health. And we can't really be in charge of their health unless we're also in charge of the way that healthcare is delivered. My congratulations again to all of you. And wherever you land, I encourage you to be involved in a broader scope of your position as a community leader, to be informed, to voice your opinion, especially in support of those who do not have that voice, and to lead all of us to better health. If you will, please welcome for me now Dr. Jackson Griggs, the CEO of Waco Family Medicine, and Carlos Hinojosa, Development Director for Waco Family Medicine.
Welcome. It is such a joy to see you all here tonight. Thank you for taking tonight to celebrate this really important occasion. Our 52-year-old organization boasts some of the most talented, best trained primary care doctors in the United States of America. But it's really hard to get into our program. Each year we have about 800 applicants and 12 get in for the family medicine training program. Those aren't great odds, but what it means is that we have just the absolute cream of the crop that come to us from medical schools all over the United States. And when they get here, we rigorously train them for 3 years. We stretch heart, mind, soul. And when they graduate, they're extraordinary thinkers. They're big-hearted, lovers of people in need. They're excellent clinicians. And so families who are here, I hope you feel a deep, deep sense of pride right now. These are exceptional human beings, and they have become exceptional doctors, and right on the cusp of being exceptional family doctors once they finish all their boarding hoops to jump through. So they're just right on the cusp. And we have, as an organization, we have graduated over 450 family doctors since our origin. That's a lot of doctors, a big contribution to family medicine in the United States. And for the last 40 years, we've done that at a facility that's in the heart of Waco, the Brook Oaks neighborhood. Happens to be in Mayor Pro Tem Palmer's district. And the building itself has really aged. It has labyrinthic halls. It's very difficult to access if you're someone with physical disabilities. And primary care it has really gone through some important changes in the last decade, to where it is now a team-based sport. Primary care requires an interprofessional team that the family doctor helps coach and lead. And our building was built without space for interprofessional primary care. So we're realizing that, well, I say we're realizing as if it's just now. For 10 years, we have envisioned an important project, and we are just now realizing that vision. We are right now, we have plans for 143,000 square foot, 4-story building that will provide state-of-the-art primary care. We are really proud of the design work that's been done. Feel tremendous gratitude to Dr. Harden, who has spearheaded that work. And it comes with a big price tag. This is a $61 million project, but we're proud to say that through the work of our advancement team, through the Waco Family Medicine Foundation, through the generosity of some families here that I can see and could call out, we are already over $24 million towards that project. So we have crossed that threshold where absolutely this building is going to be built, but we still need your help. So I'm inviting you to be a part of investing in the future of primary care in Central Texas, and the future of family medicine in the United States. Before we go any further, I want to point out some individuals who have already committed to investing in the future of family medicine, and that is those who are members of the Promethean Society. So in your programs, if you will flip to the maybe the second to last page. It's right here. You'll see second to last page, 4 columns of individuals who are members of the Promethean Society. These are individuals who have a lifetime gift of $5,000 or more. And so let's just recognize these generous individuals with our applause. We feel tremendous gratitude for your partnership. And now I want to ask for those of you who haven't yet shared with us to help build for the future, I want to give you an opportunity to do that. And I'm going to turn the mic over to our development director, Carlos Hinojosa, and he's going to give you some specific instructions on how to do that. So Carlos.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Griggs. On your table, now some of you may have seen me putting these out on your tables a little bit earlier this evening, but on your tables are some cards that show what we plan to build in just a few months, or start building in just a few months. A beautiful conceptual image of our new facility. And on the back is a little bit of information about our project. And I would love to tell you a lot more about the project if you are interested in it. What I would like for you to do is print some information on the back. If you want to hear more about this, please do that. There's some pens there on the table as well. I will be collecting these at the end of the night, and I will reach out to you about this. There's also an opportunity. There's a QR code here for some of you who are a little bit more tech savvy. I would like to make a gift right now. You can do that right here from this card. But thank you all so much for being here and so much for listening. And would you like to introduce the? I think yes, yeah. Please.
So I get to introduce Dr. Ryan Trantham and Dr. Alex Mitchell, who are our outgoing chiefs and who we have somehow convinced to stay on and become new faculty with us. So they are both outgoing chiefs and new faculty.
Good evening. Before we present some recognitions on some of our additional people that have impacted our time here as residents, we'd also like to recommend that we recognize all of the people who made this event possible and who make our daily lives as residents possible, and that is our GME staff. We went around earlier while we were all eating and passed out some flowers to these individuals, but if you're part of the GME office who helped put together not only this event, but helped us to organize all of our time throughout residency with our schedules, with knowing all the logistics of where we're supposed to be and when, please stand at this time so that we can give you guys a big round of applause. So it's my pleasure tonight to recognize the volunteer faculty. Training medical residents, as you might expect, is something that takes an army. In addition to our core faculty members, we as residents are blessed to have the opportunity to learn at the hands of a wide group of doctors, nurses, pharmacists, social workers, therapists, technicians, and researchers who serve as volunteer faculty members to our program. Teaching residents is often a thankless job. We aren't the most pleasant people to deal with when we've been on call for 12 days in a row or all night long and we call you in the mornings, but you always answer our calls respectfully, help us to figure out how we need to best manage patients and help us grow into the physicians who we are today. At this time, I'd like to invite all volunteer faculty members for the residency program to stand and be recognized for your contributions to our growth as physicians.
All right. Well, I have the honor tonight to introduce the Thomas Mitchell Oliver Memorial Lectures tonight. Since our class always does things a little bit differently since the beginning, we couldn't change now. So we actually picked 2 graduation speakers instead of just 1. These 2 faculty members started their academic careers the same year that we started residency. For 3 years now, we've been lucky enough to be led by, taught by, and blessed by these 2 individuals. And in return, we've got to watch them blossom into the incredible faculty and mentors that they are today. They're our class's biggest supporters, biggest encouragers, biggest cheerleaders. They've loved on us and helped us through 3 years. And they're the epitome of who we all strive to be as physicians. And I can guarantee you that none of us would be where we are today without them. So if you will all join me in welcoming Dr. Rachel Rube to the stage, and then Dr. Zach Sarder over Zoom.
Hi, everybody. If you couldn't guess, oh, the echo's back, or I'm too loud, or both. I'm going to test. We better. Okay. If you couldn't guess, I'm Rachel Rube, and that's Zach Sarter.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
So we're friends also, and poor Zach has COVID, and hence I'm wearing this to keep you all safe, but I've tested negative, safely so. So don't worry, I'm not trying to spew or spread any more COVID while I'm here. But luckily, we could get him in on the gig because his words are immense and valued, and I can't do the speech without him because he talks about Gandalf, and I won't do that. So, all righty. También quiero decir que tenemos copias del discurso en español por la gente aquí que prefieren esta opción. So, si no tienen una copia encima de su mesa, puedo dar uno en mi mesa con mi esposo. Hola, mi amor. Y tiene más por ti. ¿Ok? Muchísimas gracias. All right. So, you ready, Zach?
I am ready.
Okay, he looks ready. Okay. As young attendings, we have been able to uniquely experience the journey of a new identity together with these graduates, taking on some novel and difficult challenges along the way. We have shared similar emotions. We have bumbled through various stumbling blocks and struggled with our fears of inadequacy in our new roles. But conversely, we rejoiced in many victories of a new adventure. We celebrated mastery of new skills and experienced personal growth inside and out. And we have felt pride in the progress that we have fostered in others around us. So we say with complete confidence that we walk away from this time in our lives as equals, comrades in arms, and dare I act like a cool mom attending and say friends.
Can you hear me okay? Can y'all hear me? Oh, okay, good. Whew. Well, you know, Rachel already hinted at this, but I am a big fan of The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. And hopefully you're familiar with this tale, but in the first of the three books, The Fellowship of the Ring, Frodo, who's one of the heroes of the story, tells Gandalf, the wise wizard, that he wished the ring of the namesake of the Lord of the Rings, or one of the main rings, the Ring of Power, had never been found, and that the evil villain of the story, Sauron, had never returned. He wished for a different fate than the one that was handed to him and to all of the people of his time. And Gandalf's response was pretty on point. And would you expect anything less from an 11,000-year-old wizard? I don't think I would. But he said to Frodo, "So do I, and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." Class of 2022, like Frodo, you've endured much adversity, a little different, a little less monsters, but still adversity nonetheless. And I don't think that we need to recap this for you, right? You've lived it. And just like The Lord of the Rings, the journey occurred in 3 parts and would take way too long to recap in its entirety, not even including the movie's director's cut. So we'll leave that recapping for some other time. But you lived and you worked according to the rules dictated to you, more so than any residents that have come before you, and more so than any that will come after you. We want to validate your struggles first and foremost, because we can't imagine what life must have been like as a resident during COVID, with loss of classmates, uncertainty looming ahead, struggles and hardships endured daily. Yet we are truly, truly blown away by your class's response. You've done incredible things. You've grown so much, becoming outstanding physicians along the way. And Rachel and I are so impressed with your grace under pressure, even if you didn't realize it was that graceful at the time. And we're equally impressed with your commitment to yourselves, each other, and importantly, the patients you've served along the way. You decided to respond with courage while in residency training. And that's not just commendable, but awe-inspiring and very much so deserves a round of applause.
What are the most impressive attributes we see in your response to such adverse times? Let me count the ways. To start with the mushiest of all, because if you know me, I'm the mushy one. It has been clear since year one how supportive each of you are along this journey. You were wide-eyed interns, new to your physicianhood, just getting to know the world around you in a new job in a new place. And then, figuratively speaking, poo hit the fan. Not once, but twice. And then, when it did, what did you do? You cried a little, but then, well, maybe a lot, you collectively leaned on one another. You bemoaned the quandaries at hand together, but you also created a space for grief for each other. You gave each other grace at times when it felt absent from elsewhere. You validated your experiences by being present in it together, which in and of itself sometimes is the hardest thing to do. During this time, then the world turned upside down. Anybody remember a pandemic? Come on, universe. Then how did you respond? You reached out to your colleagues. You reached out to those around you, and you pulled your fair share of the workload. On many days, more than your fair share. Outpatient, inpatient, tent clinic, may it rest in peace. You slogged through and continued to, even this very week, okay, of your graduation, when you should have been kicked back having virgin margaritas and spending that moving allowance from your fancy new job, shout out Mark. You have supported each other through many trials and tribulations. You support each other even when it's the hardest thing to do.
I love sentimentality, but just like anything, it can't stand alone in the world. And so we want to recognize the strength and tenacity of your class as well. Forged in the fire, you've all come out on the other side, a true force to be reckoned with. You're formidable. The typical swell of admiration that an attending feels when a once green intern stands before them with a flawless case presentation or teaches their fledgling intern the ropes of a procedure, that's amplified 10 times more so when viewed through the lens of the circumstances your class has endured these past 3 years. Becoming a doctor in this season has been like, I don't know, trying to save all of Hina's cats and plants from a burning high-rise with a stepladder and a cup of water and no protective apparel. Pretty impressive, to say the very least.
Some plants Hina has, that's a lot.
It's overwhelming to even think about.
The last characteristic will come as no surprise and may even seem a little cliche, but still, it echoes as the truest attribute cultivated in the chaos of this residency experience. The class of 2022 is the clear epitome of unencumbered resilience. You knew it was coming. Personnel changes shook your peer group. You dusted yourselves off and then got back up again. And luckily, you were acquiring 2 amazing colleagues that we have the privilege to know and see graduate today. Sickness overtook the globe, and you powered forward. Your schedules were upheaved by ever-changing demands, reassignments, redirections, the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup designations. You kept showing up, no matter what. I cannot say that it has been fair. In fact, it has been quite the contrary. It has been unabashedly unjust at times. And many others would have buckled under the pressures you have endured. I cannot say that I would have handled this season of life with such poise as I have seen you all exhibit. But what I can say is I'm sorry. I'm sorry that as attendings, we did not always have the answers for you. I'm sorry that we as a cohort may not have always given you the ample support and direction when you needed it the most. When you sought role models to guide you in the gray, we may have fallen short, as we are human, and we often can't see our own weaknesses until they're laid out bare. But it has been despite our inadequacies, despite our limitations, and despite the injustices of the times that you all have come to this point.
Everything that you've endured culminates in this occasion. Tonight is about you. The end of the current chapter and the start of the next. Like with any new story, we know that you're excited, nervous, exhausted, and relieved. And I know if you're anything like me, you're probably looking for some advice on how to start the next chapter. And I don't know that we're really the optimal source of advice. After all, we're still trying to figure things out. But after Rachel and I talked, we thought we had a few pearls of wisdom that we did want to pass along to you.
Make mistakes. Don't let them derail you.
You'll feel insecure at times, but trust me, you're anything but inadequate.
You will have new challenges ahead. Don't let them take away from the joy that you find in the small victories.
Let's pivot and entrust you with a charge about empowerment and self-determination. Two concepts that may seem somewhat foreign given what you've gone through, but we promise that from tonight onward,
You have the power to make the change you want in your practices, your lives, and your communities.
you can set your own rules, carve out your own boundaries.
You can find contentment doing the things you love on your own terms.
And remember, some circumstances will be beyond your control, but your response to those circumstances, to those situations, that'll never be beyond your control. As Gandalf says, decide what to do with the time that you are given. And if your time in residency is any indication, you'll rise to the occasion and make the most of the years to come.
Congratulations, class of 2022.
Enjoy tonight. You have more than earned it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rube and Dr. Sarter, for your words of wisdom and encouragement. They're very timely. I want to take a few moments. My name is Brett Hess. I'm one of the associate program directors for the program, and pivot a little bit and talk a little bit about our chief residents. So what is
What is a chief resident? At their core, chief residents are servant leaders. There are 2 of them selected from the 3rd year class by vote of their colleagues and their faculty. They function as representatives of the residents to the faculty. They function as intermediaries, advocates. They function as scheduling coordinators. They coordinate the call schedule for the residents. They work very closely with our GME staff to do all of that. They cover absences, sick days. They fill in gaps in coverage. And in short, they do a lot of work, and we appreciate them very much. They also, over time, become friends, advisors, and even confidants to the program director, to the assistant program directors. And this year, as Dr. Griggs has already said, we're privileged to bring the 2 chief residents who are outgoing and who I want to invite to the stage, Dr. Alex Mitchell and Dr. Ryan Trantham. We're privileged to be able to bring them on faculty with us. And I'm excited about the future and what that means for us as a program. So Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Trantham, if you'll come forward to receive your Chief Resident Awards, please.
As I mentioned previously, it takes an army to teach a group of residents. The Ainsworth Teaching Award is given annually to an individual that is not a member of our faculty, but has had a profound and positive impact on our growth and development as physicians. This award is voted on by all of the graduates, and the individual is chosen because they have contributed something unique to our class, to our education, to our physicianhood. For the past 3 years, the individual that's receiving this gift tonight has chosen to subject himself to the unique torture of sitting in our rounds at Hillcrest on our adult medicine team. In doing so, he's become an integral part of our team. He knows our patients, helps us gather information that's otherwise deep inside the chart where no one else can find it as good as he can. He keeps us honest when we say that we ordered medicines for someone and we didn't, or when we say that they're getting a certain type of antibiotic and they're actually not. He calls us out on it. He helps us to understand what it means to be a physician better. And we're all better physicians because we've interacted with him. I know I speak for the entirety of my class when I say that he's universally considered to be both a teacher and a friend. And this award is only a small token of our appreciation for the impact you've had on our class. For this reason, I'm honored to present this year's Ainsworth Teaching Award to our friend, Fightin' Texas Aggie, whoop, fact checker, comic relief, and friendly neighborhood pharmacist, Mike Shaw.
See, the residents love him. All right, so I would like to invite Dr. Kyla Ketron up to the stage. She is going to introduce who we chose as our Faculty Teaching Award.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kyla Ketron. It is my pleasure to announce the Faculty Teaching Award for the 2021-2022 academic year. This individual was chosen based on his commitment to teaching, not only this year, but also for the past 7 years. He has served our program well. Morning rounds were marked by a clear desire to help residents grow in each specific topic regarding OBGYN. These sessions were unique and usually consisted of a game that got everyone involved. And it was sure to feature a game show tune. You could be sure that during these learning sessions, all attendings would be vaporized. These moments not only bolstered our OBGYN knowledge, but also our independent decision-making skills and abilities. It is my pleasure to congratulate Dr. Mark Beard as this year's Faculty Teaching Award recipient.
I just want to say that I just want to thank each of the residents. This means so much. I've now been in practice for 27 years, and I can truly say that teaching you, investing in you, and challenging each of you has really been the highlight of my 27 years. So thank you.
Next, Ryan and I would like to introduce our new chief residents. While Ryan and I have loved getting to be in this leadership position for the last year, we were also equally as happy to be able to hand the reins over to other people. We are excited to watch both of you grow and flourish in this new role and know that you're going to leave this residency in a better place than what you found it. So a big round of applause and please say good lucks to Doctors Amanda Weaver and Michael Boone, if y'all will stand up for us. And then we'll have Dr. Michael Yarmark come up to the stage next.
Okay, I have been charged with presenting the Mei Wu Wong Award for Most Compassionate Physician. Dr. Dietrich, myself, and Scott Blackman, if he's still here, were trained by Dr. Wong. So when she retired, she decided that she wanted to leave a legacy of a most compassionate physician with someone that was chosen by their colleagues, nurses, employees, janitors, all voted for this particular award. As you know, compassion talks about meaning suffering with. As I walked up here, I've just returned from Europe, and I think there's still the dirt of Dachau, the grass of the American cemetery, and we also visited a German cemetery. And one of the students, Baylor students that accompanied our group, she said, "I don't think we should be visiting the German cemetery." And I was walking by myself with her, and I had been there about 30 minutes, and I had noticed how many Germans were 18 and 19 years old, younger than the student. And I said, "This gentleman right here never got to go to university. You did." And so all of our 12 graduates, I know, are gritty, they're resilient, they're compassionate, they give quality care, and they're courageous. But one particular resident, and when I call your name, if you would please come up, these are some of the comments. She brightens the room with a smile and a warm greeting. She is consistently understanding of patients who need empathy and compassion and maintains her professional demeanor and treats the patients for his or her best. She sets an example for others. I am better for knowing her. Flory, please come up. is extremely kind. She is always willing to help her fellow residents. She is very patient. Everybody agree with that? Flori not only shows care and concern for her patients, but also to her colleagues. She is very sincere in her care for her patients, addressing physical as well as emotional and social needs. Her compassion for all makes her the most deserving of this award. Congratulations, Flori Gomez.
Let's look at the fixing.
Oh, there's actually a little award with this particular being a compassionate physician. So keep being a compassionate physician. All 12 of you.
I think most of the residents and faculty feel like when we give out those awards, we're not surprised by who gets them. And I think the next one falls along those same lines. I'm giving out the award from the Society of Teachers of Family Medicine. They give out a teaching award each residency program. And it doesn't necessarily go to a graduating resident, but often that's a person who has shown the most about their teaching abilities. This award recognizes a resident who has demonstrated skills and interest in teaching. Precepting medical students, teaching, precepting peers. They've often participated in patient education or residency education committees and processes. And they're really valued as a teacher by their peers, by their patients, by their faculty. The person that this award goes to this year, I think, epitomizes these traits. And it is with great pleasure that I present the 2022 Society of Teachers of Family Medicine Teaching Award to Dr. Ryan Trantham. I'd now like to invite up Doctors Mike Harden and Jackson Griggs.
So I trained at the Waco Family Medicine Residency Program from 2003 to 2006. I am looking out at the audience. I'm seeing several of you who were my faculty, who left your fingerprints on my DNA as a physician. I was shaped by your values. I am in some way who I am as a physician because of you. When I joined faculty in 2006 and was on faculty from 2006 to 2019, you taught me how to teach. You taught me how to shepherd. You taught me how to guide others. And being an academic family doctor is not an easy task. Academic family physicians, they hold themselves to the highest standards of physicianhood. They know that they need to be a model for the learners that are training with them. They read constantly because medical literature is constantly changing, and there's always new knowledge, and so faculty members are always reading. Faculty members help with curriculum. They develop curriculum. They do research. They stay involved in professional societies and organized medicine. And they coach residents. They give feedback. They help shepherd residents through challenging times and difficult cases, and they help residents learn to think clinically. So at their core, faculty are visionaries. They're teachers, and they're paragons of clinical care. So when a faculty member retires, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's almost as if a part of yourself is leaving. This year we have two faculty who are retiring. Dr. Don Kester has been faculty at Waco Family Medicine residency program for 30 years. And Dr. Daly Dietrich has been faculty at Waco Family Medicine for 43 years. These are giants among physicians. And so they, as they depart, we want to just take a special moment to honor them. And Dr. Hardin's going to share a few personal comments about each of those physicians.
So like Jackson, I was trained by these two faculty members just a little earlier than Jackson was, 92 to 95. Dr. Kester, in fact, when I interviewed at residency programs, was working at another residency program. I interviewed with him, and then I came and started my residency in Waco, and lo and behold, he was there at that point. So we started pretty close to each other at that point. I'll say just a brief, you guys know who've trained with these people, know that we could talk a long time about them and just what an impact they've had on you and the legacy that they have left with you. But I'll just boil it down really, really short. So Don, you are uber trustworthy and uber reliable. I can always, always depend on you. And I know everyone else can too. And you're a true teacher. If there's a 5 or 10 minute pause, you've got a chalk talk ready to go, get up on the board and do something. And I think that's something that the residents will always appreciate and remember. For Dr. Dietrich was here when I came too. Dr. Dietrich, I would say, is a lifelong learner. I know just a few months ago, he was asking to learn to do a new procedure and he knew he was retiring, didn't stop. And Dr. Dietrich, you guys know, is a fierce advocate for others. They have left, but more importantly, together, they have left a legacy here at Waco Family Medicine, a legacy of training and forming phenomenal family physicians and of dedicated service to patients here in Waco, Texas. So I'd like to recognize both of them. I think Don's here. So Dr. Kester, if you could come up, please. We have a plaque for you. And I also have a plaque for Dr. Dietrich as well. They also have very special gifts, which we don't have here tonight, but they'll be receiving soon too as well, that are mementos from us. So thank you guys very much for your service. Huge. When we talk about legacy, I want to recognize one more person. She's retired and we've already had a big party for her. And she's gotten our gifts, but Glenna Walker is here tonight. So when we talk about legacy and impact and footprints on this program, Glenna was my program coordinator and worked and has been here forever. So please come up, Glenna. Everyone who knows Glenna knows that she was the heart and soul of this program. And she gave her heart to this program for so many years. And we really appreciate you, Glenna. Thanks for being here. All right, I'd like to invite Dr. Karina Che up to the podium, please. Dr. Karina Che is our director. In addition to being associate program director, she's also our director of our global health track.
Thank you. All right, I'd also like to ask our 4 graduates completing the global health track to come forward and stand over here to my left at the bottom of the stairs. Please hold your applause until we recognize them individually with their certificates. I actually look forward to doing this every year because it is amazing. I have the great honor to recognize these graduates who have completed the prerequisites to receive their global health track certificates. This significant accomplishment required countless hours of additional training in tropical medicine, including the recognition and care of common and neglected tropical diseases, adapting care in low resource settings, and learning to work across many cultures and languages. These graduates have served in communities in Honduras, Malawi, and other parts of the globe. These experiences help make them stronger and more caring physicians for all of their future patients. I'm excited to recognize our 2022 recipients of the Global Health Track Certificate. Dr. Arifa Ali. Dr. Flory Gomez. Dr. Kyla Ketron. And Dr. Ryan Trantham. Thank you. And can you give another round of applause to these graduates? I'd like to invite Dr. Mike Harden and Dr. Ileana Newman, co-directors of the Spanish track, to take the stage.
Good evening. The latest estimates are that about 41 million people, or 13% of the US population, speak Spanish as their primary language. We know that effective medical care requires clear communication as a foundation for diagnosis and for patients to be able to follow through with recommended care plans. Not being able to communicate results in barriers to care and increased risk of adverse outcomes in both health and cost. I am therefore grateful that we have one of the few Spanish tracks in the country that invest in improving the communication skills of our graduating physicians to help break down some of those barriers. And I am so grateful for this year's graduating residents who voluntarily took of their time to help improve their patients' experience and care. Please join me in thanking them for their efforts. And if those residents could please come up and join us. Dr. Mark McKay. Dr. Gina Prado. Dr. Carlos Rodríguez. Dr. Ryan Trantham. Doctora Flores Gómez. If you could all give us one more round of applause.
Such amazing and good works. So proud of you guys. One more round of applause. All right. Well, unfortunately, as many of you know, Dr. Ryan Lashover, our program director, is unable to be here in person tonight, but never fear, he has prepared a video address. So I'm going to step aside and Dr. Hardin's going to play a little video address from Dr. Lashover to the graduates.
Hello, friends, family, and most importantly, the residency class. Hello, friends, family, and most importantly, the residency class of 2022. Well, this is the day we live for as faculty. I'm devastated that I can't be there this evening, but I'm celebrating y'all via Zoom from home. Speaking for the faculty here, we could not be more proud of these 12 residents graduating this evening. Residency is a challenging, life-changing experience and process. And not only is it challenging, but this class will graduate after completing residency through the most external influences of any residency class I think we've ever graduated. It was their intern year when the pandemic hit. And when the world stopped and everyone went home, they went to work. They have put their own personal health on the line day after day to care for their patients. They've donned and doffed beyond what anyone should ever have to. And they have learned medicine when it has seemed to change every hour, every day. Beyond COVID, they've worked through residency class cohort changes, continued to thrive in residency during a program director transition, and they have supported each other and cared for each other unimaginably well through life changes, personal and family illnesses, joys, and struggles. And with all that, you all came in as wonderful people, and in the end, you all are graduating as phenomenal physicians. So Arifa, Shelby, Devin, Flory, Kyla, Mark, Kayla, Alex, Hina, Carlos, Brad, and Ryan, nothing excites us more than seeing you graduate today. We say this every year, and we'll say it again tonight multiple times. Us faculty have the joy now of calling you all colleagues. After tonight, my name's Ryan. These gentlemen next to the stage are Bert and Mike, and Dr. Dietrich is now Daly. So I'll be clapping and cheering you all on via Zoom from home, and can't wait to see you all for checkout on June 30th. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Lashover. Well, it's time to pivot to the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to award the diplomas to the graduates and to acknowledge the hard work that they've put in formally over the last 3 years. I'd like to invite Dr. Brock Neisler and Dr. Ileana Newman to the stage. They'll be reading out brief biographies of each of the residents so you can get a little bit of a behind the scenes view of who these people are and what makes them tick. They're also going to share a little bit of advice from them as they receive their diplomas. I know you're going to want to cheer like crazy and clap if you'll hold off just a few more minutes until all of the diplomas have been awarded, and then we can go crazy on their behalf. Okay? All right. Dr. Neisler, Dr. Newman.
Dr. Arifa Ali. Born in Guyana, Arifa grew up in New York City, where she completed her undergrad in nursing. Arifa then went to medical school in Antigua and has been a nomad ever since. She enjoys traveling, especially to aquatic places, even though she can't swim. Arifa also likes going to fancy, unique restaurants, hiking, yoga, Pilates, and various activities prior to residency/COVID. In the future, Arifa will be doing her first of hopefully many mission trips. She will be working as a hospitalist and at an urgent care center in Portland, Vancouver. Arifa's advice to current and future residents: learn to choose which battles are worth fighting, because you'll be too tired to win the really important ones if you try to fight them all.
I'm 6'5", and Dr. Boone actually thinks I'm dressed for the NBA draft tonight, but I'm here to announce the graduates. Shelby Anastasia Beam. Shelby is from Dickinson, Texas, and attended medical school at the Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine, University of North Texas. She enjoys singing. I didn't know that. Everything from opera to country music, cooking all types of food, and hanging out with her family. Shelby will be moving to Friendswood, Texas to work with UTMB Medical School as a clinical faculty teaching medical students physical exam skills and diagnostics. She would also be doing urgent care and hospitalist work. Shelby's advice to current and future residents: stay focused on your end goal. Some shifts may be hard, but the shifts will always end. Stay positive. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
I obviously am not 6 feet. Dr. Devin Klein. Devin is from the Austin area and attended Baylor for undergrad. She attended UT Southwestern for medical school, then returned to Waco. She and her husband, Chris, enjoy their cat and dog. Devin plans to practice in the Cedar Park area after she graduates. Advice: never forget a patient is a person first. Residency, especially during COVID, is hard, and it is easy to become detached and jaded. Getting to know and care for your patients as people will not only make you a better doctor, but will help you maintain your empathy, compassion, and motivation to fight for your patients.
Okay. Florimar del Carmen Gomez Taveras. Yeah, yeah. I really wish Dr. Newman had done that. Flori was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, where she went to medical school. She moved to the US 7 years ago with Christian, her husband, and Christopher, her son, to undergo residency training in the US. She likes butterflies, enjoys gardening, and spending time with her family. Flori will move to San Antonio and work as a primary care physician at UT Health. Flori's advice to current and future residents: remember to enjoy the ride and be grateful. All of us have been given an opportunity for the greater good. Many have dreamed of being in your place, including myself years ago.
Dr. Kayla Marie Ketron was born in Ohio. Farm roots gave her a passion for rural medicine and full spectrum care. She completed her undergraduate biology degree at Cedarville University and attended Ohio University for her medical degree. In pursuit of broad spectrum family medicine training, Waco Family Medicine brought her to Texas. She has absolutely loved living in the Texas life. In her spare time, you can be sure to find her spending time with friends and family, running, working out, contemplating her next home decor alteration, or spending time at the lake and enjoying the sunshine. Kayla will be working at Cornerstone Clinic in Fredericksburg, Comfort, doing full spectrum family medicine, including obstetrics and inpatient pediatrics. Her advice to current and future residents: residency affords the opportunity for a large amount of growth, both professionally and personally. Take every opportunity to study, learn by experience, and spend time with your co-residents. At the same time, keep a balance of work and life, and remember to prioritize your family and health. God is faithful, and remember that every patient interaction is a chance to bring them life in multiple ways.
I don't know about you guys, but I love this kid over here. He's fantastic. I've been in the car with my kids for 3 days, who are all under the age of 4.5. So it makes me feel comfortable having him here. I can do this one. Mark Donald McKay. Mark grew up in Virginia. He attended BYU for undergraduate and then Campbell University for medical school. He enjoys spending time with family and playing sports. Mark will be working in an outpatient clinic in the rural mountains of Virginia. Mark's advice to current and future residents: enjoy the process.
Dr. Kayla Ann Philin McHenry. Kayla grew up in Sugar Land, Texas, a suburb of Houston. She graduated medical school from UTMB in Galveston. Kayla enjoys spending time with her dogs, stress baking, vegetable gardening, going to the farmer's market, and spending time with her friends and family. Kayla will be staying in Hewitt and will be doing direct primary care with a medical management of eating disorder focus at Thrive Wellness. She will also be their medical director of intensive outpatient eating disorder treatment. Kayla's advice to current and future residents: my best advice is to find your balance, take care of yourself. Do not be afraid to make your own path and own your struggle. Sometimes we need to recover loudly so people do not have to suffer silently.
Alexandra Mitchell. Alex is from Stevensville, Texas, and went to medical school at UT Houston. She enjoys anything outdoors, hanging out with family and friends, and the Dallas Cowboys. Alex will be, heck yeah, Dallas Cowboys. Alex will be staying at Waco Family Medicine as a faculty physician. Alex's advice for current and future residents: come in ready to be a hard worker and a humble learner.
Gina Prado. Gina was born in Cuba. She moved to Miami and graduated from Florida State Atlantic University School of Medicine. She enjoys gardening and spending time with her cats, both ones that have the titles as well as strays she has unofficially adopted along the way throughout Waco. Hina plans to stay with Waco Family Medicine to provide care for the underserved. Hina's advice to current and future residents: life's tough, wear a helmet.
Carlos Alberto Rodriguez. Carlos was raised in Dallas, Texas, and attended the UNT Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine in Fort Worth. He enjoys watching movies, anime, and soccer. He also enjoys trying different restaurants with his family, especially Mexican and Asian food. He will be moving back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area to work at the John Peter Smith Southeast Clinic to continue providing care to the underserved communities. Carlos's advice to current and future residents: never forget the privilege we have to provide care to those in need. Dedicate time for yourself and your family.
Bradley Alexander Springer. Brad grew up in Dallas and attended TCOM in Fort Worth. He enjoys peace and quiet. His dogs, his cat, travel, and good food. Brad will be doing outpatient medicine in Lebanon, New Hampshire. Brad's advice to current and future residents: advocate for yourself and your colleagues.
Ryan Michael Trantham. Ryan grew up in Allen, Texas, although his roots are in Mexico. He is this. Oh, sorry. Mejia. I've been in West Virginia for 2 weeks, so excuse my accent. Let's try that again. Although his roots are in Mejia. He is the son of Mike and Cindy Trantham and proud brother.
Proud brother to the best sisters in the world, Shelby and Ellery. He attended Texas A&M University and then matriculated to Baylor College of Medicine, where he decided to pursue a career in family medicine. Outside of academics, he enjoys traveling, pub trivia, cooking, camping, and an ever-changing array of weird hobbies. Ryan will be staying in Waco to join the residency faculty team. He's excited to work with and teach the best family medicine residents in the country, and will have the pleasure of developing the program's point of care ultrasound curriculum. Ryan's advice to current and future residents: my advice to future residents is to journal every day. Take time to record one thing about what you learned, who you treated, or the funny things you shared with your Waco Family Medicine that day. Residency is hard, but at the end of the 3 years, when you read back over your notes, I promise you'll smile.
We're very, very close. Almost done. So we have several fellowships, but one fellowship is a special fellowship that we offer graduates of our own program, and we call it a flexship. It's flexible. It's board approved by the state of Texas, but it allows us to tailor training specifically for a graduate's desires down the road in the future. And the first person to take advantage of that was a graduate last year. Her name is Dr. JoJo Pritchard. She did a fellowship in integrative medicine and acupuncture. And so I'd like to invite her up to the stage, and I'll read her bio as she comes up here. So JoJo is from Wayland, Massachusetts, and attended medical school at Texas A&M. At University, JoJo enjoys spending time with family and friends, traveling, water sports, and activities. JoJo will be joining Baylor Scott and White in Gatesville, Texas, and will be providing full spectrum primary care along with integrative medicine and acupuncture services. JoJo's advice to current and future fellows: enjoy the ride, work hard, and never lose sight of why you chose family medicine. Be greedy. She didn't write that in there. She wanted everything out of residency, and she wanted this out of her fellowship too. And she wouldn't have done it if she hadn't been so tenacious to get it done. So I applaud her. Lean on your co-residents when things get tough, and always be there to lend a helping hand. The days are long, but the years are short. Soak up as much knowledge and pearls of wisdom as you can from everyone around you, and be grateful for the journey. Congratulations, JoJo. I'd like to introduce and bring him to the podium Dr. Paul Smith, Program Director for Hospice and Palliative Medicine Fellowship, and Dr. Josh Wesley, Associate Program Director.
So I just want to say a few words. This is our second fellow to graduate from Hospice and Palliative Medicine. And I want to say thank you for Waco Family Medicine to being so supportive. Dr. Derstiller is unable to join us tonight, but I want to talk about her slightly and some. So she graduated high school from Winters, Texas, and attended Texas Tech University and got a Bachelor's of Science in Clinical Lab Science. She did attend medical school at Texas A&M. Yep, I heard some. Where's the whoop? And then she did her residency in internal medicine in Temple, Texas. She then joined at Hillcrest as one of the hospitalist group before joining our team as our second fellow in hospice and palliative medicine. She's been an outstanding fellow to have. We have been blessed to have her this year, as well as our team to help support her. So to Dr. Derstiller, congratulations. And Dr. Harden.
This is it. We can give one final round of congratulations and applause to all of the graduates here tonight, and to the families and loved ones who've been through this whole journey. Congratulations to all of you. You guys all get to call me Mike now. I won't answer I'll put down if you call me and you call me Dr. Harden, I hang up the phone and you just got to try again. Final parting things tonight. Everyone who's been at one of the tables can take home the flowers with them. So the flowers are yours to take home with you. And I need to remind the graduates to please hang around afterwards for some group photos. Congratulations to the class of 2022. Have a good night.